Take relaxation to the next level, beyond the basics, beyond the mat. Explore the art of rest, meditation, and deep inner wisdom. Exclusive Nidra and Yin classes to transform your practice on and off the mat. Become a channel member today and experience relaxation at a deeper level. Hello everyone, and welcome to this river Yin Yoga flow. Every now and then I like to come up with a video that is just something a little bit different, something fun, and I try to take the names of poses and see what kind of theme we can come up with using those poses. So there are a lot of nature and animal inspired Yin Yoga poses, and a lot of them are ones that we would find at the river. So for this routine, we're going to practice Swan Pose, Tadpole, supported fish, and supported bridge. So you will need a yoga block or two if you have them. If you don't, you can always use some really thick pillows or maybe some big books. So if you're ready to begin, we're going to start with Swan Pose. So we'll bring all fours onto the mat. And then you can bring your right knee out in front of you. You might walk your back knee back a little bit. Back toes can stay tucked, or you can bring the top of your foot to the mat. We want to try to keep our hips relatively square here. So if you feel as though you're collapsing into this right hip, you might place a yoga block or a cushion in underneath. You're welcome to stay here in Swan, or you can go that little bit deeper by keeping your weight in your hips, but bringing your forearms down onto the mat in front of you. Your forehead might also come onto the mat, or you can rest it on your hands or maybe a yoga block. And here we have arrived into Sleeping Swan. We'll stay here for the next 3 minutes. Allowing your awareness to flow into your body with each inhalation. Tapping into those physical sensations that you feel. Attaching itself to your breath. You might even imagine that you're just floating peacefully down a river here, just like the swan. Any thoughts that are there are just on the banks of the river, and then you can just float on past them. From Sleeping Swan, you can slide back into Crocodile Pose by stretching that right leg long on the mat, lying on your belly. Bring your big toes together, letting your heels drop towards the edges of your mat. And then you might make a pillow with your hands, allowing a cheek or your forehead to rest onto your pillow. We'll allow Swan Pose to just rebound here as we rest in Crocodile. It's time now for us to practice Swan on the other side. When you're ready, you can bring your left knee forward. Back knee walking back slightly if that feels comfortable. Hips are relatively square. And then if you're ready, you can come down onto your forearms, finding your version of Sleeping Swan. And we'll be here for the next 3 minutes. Once again, it's totally normal if you're getting caught up in thought. But you might just imagine that those thoughts are on a distant bank. You're very peacefully just floating past them, choosing to focus on your breath and on the sensations of your body instead. When you're ready, you can slip back into crocodile. Big toes back together, resting on your pillow. We'll stay here for the next minute. Our next pose is Tadpole Pose, which really is just extended child's pose. So when you're ready, you can come back to sit on your heels. Take your knees as wide apart from each other as is comfortable. And if you can't quite sit back on your heels, that's okay. You can have a cushion or a yoga block in underneath. Then we'll reach our hands towards the front of the mat, dropping the forehead down, either onto the mat or onto another yoga block, or if needed, you can place your hands in underneath. Once again, just floating down the river. No worries or thoughts can get to you. They're all stuck on the bank. And we'll stay in this peaceful, floaty mindset for the next 3 minutes. Before we move on from tadpole, you might take a moment to loosen your jaw, relax your face. Take one more big breath in and out. And now you can start to push yourself away from the ground. Slowly coming back up, you can sit with your legs out long in front of you. You might just take a moment here to release your ankles, stretch and rotate them. Maybe stretch through your legs. And we'll set ourselves up for our next pose, which is supported fish pose. So you can take a yoga block and place it on the mat behind you. We want to have at least one yoga block just in at the back of our shoulder blades. And then you might have another yoga block or a cushion to rest your head on. If you have a yoga bolster, I would really recommend placing it in underneath your knees. It can feel really relaxing to do that. And then we want to align this edge of the block with the bottom of our shoulder blades. And then gently we'll place our head onto the other block or the cushion. Or if you're not using a second yoga block, you can gently place the crown of your head onto the mat. Of course, adjust as much as you need to until you find that perfect position for your props. Once again, we've found a pose that just lets us float. Body can relax. Your mind is safe from thoughts and worries because they're all stuck on the bank. Instead, you can focus on your breath, noticing the change in your body as you inhale. And each time you exhale, you're getting rid of not only stale air from your lungs, but also any tension or worry that you're holding on to. We'll stay here for the next 3 minutes. Take about 3 more breaths here in fish. And now you can start to peel yourself off of your blocks, removing them for now. You can come back down just to lie flat on your back. Our next pose is supported bridge pose. So you can remove your bolster if you are using one. And we'll take a yoga block or maybe a book and put it in underneath your lower back, resting roughly underneath your tailbone. And the knees can be bent for now, your feet can be close to your body. And we'll just check in and notice how this feels. You might be happy to stay here, or you can go a little bit deeper into bridge pose by placing a second yoga block in underneath, or maybe turning your current yoga block to a higher setting. Knees are still bent, but if you want to go deeper, you can walk your feet further away from you. And here we have arrived in bridge pose, providing a really nice stretch for your spine, also helping to stretch and release the muscles in the front of your body, especially around the front of your hips and your legs. But as we're here in bridge and we're thinking river theme, you might just imagine a really peaceful scene in nature. I'm from Ireland, where we have lots of beautiful stone bridges over rivers, so that's where I'm at right now. I'm just picturing the beautiful nature around, hearing the really calming flow of the water. Maybe hearing some bird song or splashes from fish. We'll stay here for the next 3 minutes. Acting as this really strong, powerful bridge amongst this really calm and peaceful scene. we'll think about coming out of our bridge now. So you can just do so one stage at a time. If you're using 2 blocks, you can remove one of them. And then when you're ready, you can remove that other block, bringing your spine totally back down to the ground. And just feeling the effects of the pose here. You might rest your knees against each other, or you might come into corpse pose by stretching your legs long. And we'll spend the last few minutes of our practice here in corpse pose. Really letting that feeling of flotation take over you. Finding that place of inner calm. Float here for the next 2 minutes, and then I'll let you know when it's time to come back. You can start to bring a little bit of awareness back now, just making tiny movements. And when you're ready, you can make your way back up into a seat on your mat. And we will officially end this practice here. So if you enjoyed it, please leave this video a thumbs up. And if you're not already subscribed, please consider subscribing to my channel. I would love to practice some Yin Yoga with you again in the future. So I'll see you again soon on the mat. But until then, take good care of yourself and goodbye.